A wife should always be a reasonable and agreeable companion, because she cannot always be young. The lie flies, and the truth limps after it. Live every day as your last, because one of these days it will be. It is a miserable thing to live in suspense. It is the life of the spider. When a great genius appears in the world, you may know him by this sign, that the dunces are all in confederacy against him. Words are the clothing of our thoughts. One enemy can do more hurt than 10 friends can do good. There's no one so blind as they that won't see. Good manners is the art of making people comfortable. Whoever makes the fewest people uncomfortable has the best manners. Entertainment is the happiness of those who cannot think. The best doctors in the world are Dr. Diet, Dr. Quiet, and Dr. Merriman. No wise man ever wished to be younger. Books are the children of the brain. Vision is the art of seeing things invisible. Elephants are always depicted smaller than life size, and a flea is always depicted more. Poor nations are hungry, and rich nations are proud, and pride and hunger will never be at variance. God grant you live all the days of your life. A tavern is a place where madness is sold in bottles. The reason there are so few happy marriages is because young women spend their time making nets, not making cages. Proper words in proper places make the true definition of style. There is nothing permanent in this world except impermanence. We are happy when our wit is laughed at, but not our stupidity. There is no such absurdity that some or other philosophers would not defend as truth. There are few, very few, that will own themselves in a mistake. It is useless to attempt to reason a man out of a thing he was never reasoned into. An argument is a conversation of the worst sort. The stoical scheme of supplying our wants by lopping off our desires is like cutting off our feet when we want shoes. I never wonder to see men wicked, but I often wonder to see them not ashamed. Laws are best explained, interpreted, and applied by those whose interest and abilities lie in perverting, confounding, and eluding them. Every man desires to live long, but no man wishes to be old. The biggest and most sincere part of our prayers are complaints. A soldier is a Yahoo hired to kill in cold blood as many of his own species who have never offended him as possibly he can. In disputes, like in war, the weak side kindles fires and makes a lot of noise so that the enemy thinks that it is stronger than it really is. As blushing will sometimes make a whore pass for a virtuous woman, so modesty may make a fool seem a man of sense. Puning is a talent which no man affects to despise, but he that is without it. Women look at men like a cat looks at a mouse. Power is no blessing in itself, except when it is used to protect the innocent. We have just enough religion to make us hate, but not enough to make us love one another. Honesty has no defense against superior cunning. Happiness is the perpetual possession of being well deceived. The cottagers and laborers keep their children at home, their business being only to fill and cultivate the earth, and therefore their education is of little consequence to the public. Falsehood flies, and truth comes limping after it, so that when men come to be undeceived, it is too late. Dream, for by the beauty of your dreams, you will take your place in the future. Undoubtedly, philosophers are in the right when they tell us that nothing is great or little otherwise than by comparison. There is no absolute success in the world, only constant progress. You should never be ashamed to admit you have been wrong. It only proves you are wiser today than yesterday. The favorite pastime of men, children, and other animals is a brawl. Actually, very few people live for today. Most are preparing to live later. What they do in paradise, we do not know, but we know exactly what they don't do there. They don't get married. Satire is a sort of glass wherein beholders do generally discover everybody's face but their own, which is the chief reason for that kind reception it meets within the world, and that so very few are offended with it. For in reason, all government without the consent of the governed is the very definition of slavery. No person can disobey reason without giving up his claim to be a rational creature. Coffee makes us severe and grave and philosophical. Forget hurt, but never forget kindness. Men are never so serious, thoughtful, and intent as when they are at stool. Whoever makes ill returns to his benefactor must be a common enemy to the rest of mankind, from where he has received no obligations, and therefore such man is not fit to live. No one is as prone to envy as self-abased people. The latter part of a wise person's life is occupied with curing the follies, prejudices, and false opinions they contracted earlier. 2 rules for any courtier. Always keep your cool and never keep your word. The tiny Lilliputians surmise that Gulliver's watch may be his god, because it is that which he admits he seldom does without consulting. If for someone you have become bad, then you have done a lot of good for him. Some men, under the notion of weeding out prejudice, eradicate virtue, honesty, and religion. How vain an attempt it is for a man to endeavor to do himself honor among those who are out of all degree of equality or comparison with him. Truth shines the brighter clad in verse. Modesty brings nothing except good. As love without esteem is capricious and volatile, esteem without love is languid and cold. Of so little weight are the greatest services to princes when put into the balance with a refusal to gratify their passions. In men, desire begets love, and in women, love begets desire. Books, like their authors, have no more than one way of coming into the world, but there are 10,000 to go out of it and return no more.